Hello guys, Coach Milos here with Fortius Dubai and the head coach at the Get Fit Dudes program. Today I'm here with Salma from Get Fit Chick, the co-founder there.
Hello.
And today we're going to demo the hip thrust for you guys. So hopefully you will improve your booty gains.
One of my favorite exercises.
So Salma is going to sit down here with her back leaned onto the bench. We are going to make sure that the bench is just underneath or on the bottom of your shoulder blades. And once you get that position, you're going to try to stay in it without shifting up or down during the movement. In case we are a little bit shorter or the bench is too high, we might add a plate under to lift you up a little bit. Or if the bench is in a proper height, then we just keep it like that. And another cue here is once doing the movement, because you don't want to lose your position of your back, you might not want to go all the way down. So you might reverse before touching the ground. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is the foot positioning. So once we bring the bar here, we are going to bend the legs. Perfect. And here it will differ depending on your preference. So some people, they do a narrow stand, some people do shoulder width apart, some people go wide. And the toes can be pointing straight or slightly outwards. So you need to try different variations and see what works best for you. Do you have a favorite one? What works for you?
This position. So not completely straight and not completely out.
Okay, cool. And you want to get into the position, ideally, that you won't change from the first to the last rep. Sometimes if the bench is high, you might reposition yourself a little bit, but we try to get into a good position, especially when we load it heavier. It's going to be hard when you lift the bar to change the foot positioning and so on. So the next step is you're going to inhale, fill your stomach with air, brace, and then you're going to push up, bring the bar up. Perfect. So what's important to note here is that we want to keep our chin slightly tucked in, and we want to push from the heels. We want to contract our glutes, and what we need to be very careful about is not hyperextend. So Salma, just show one rep with a hyperextension that we don't want to see. So if you push your hips too much far up and your abs are not tight, you're going to end up in a hyperextension and put pressure on your lower back. Okay, you can sit down. Yeah. So now Salma is going to demonstrate 2-3 proper reps, the way she does the hip thrust.
So just to add to what Milos was saying, when we see a lot of women sometimes they kind of push their hips back, exactly what you were saying right now. But in order to make that correct, there's a way that you can tilt your pelvis forward and kind of tuck everything in and squeeze your abs at the same time. But I think you'll see it better from this side.
Yeah, now she will demonstrate a couple of reps.
So if we go here, you see my hips, my abs are up more and I'm not having it tight and I'm kind of having like a little tilt in my back. So from this position, we kind of tilt it in, squeeze the glutes, and that way you're actually going to feel it right in the glutes instead. You're touching
so exactly in a posterior pelvic tilt.
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice.
Should I keep going?
No, that's fine, that's fine. So, as with most exercises, you can do it time under tension, you can load it heavy, you can do half reps. Do you have any preferences when doing this with your ladies?
I always like to pause at the top for 1, 2, and then down.
Okay.
So sometimes we'll add the pulse in between full reps, like a pulse thrust.
Okay.
But again, that's if they're really focusing on keeping that pelvic tilt.
Perfect, perfect. And what's the most you've ever hip thrust?
I have done 120 kgs.
120 kgs.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So
that's back in the day.
So let's just recap one more time. We position our back on the bench and exactly under the shoulder blade or on the bottom position of the shoulder blade. So we don't move up and down during the movement. Knees need to be at 90 degrees once we are up in the hyperextension. The feet can be placed shoulder width apart or slightly narrower, slightly wider with the toes pointing straight or slightly out. And make sure that your abs are braced and that you're always in a posterior pelvic tilt, so you don't want to end up hyperextending too much and putting pressure on your lower back.
You want to show them a few with a bad position?
Yeah, let's do a few. Let's do a few.
So one of the common ones that we also see is that their feet will be either too far away,
Yes.
so it's not right below their knee level. So for an example, if it's here, that's too far.
Too far, too much pressure on the hammies. The glutes won't be working
Even the
that
lower
great.
back, I feel.
Yeah,
So just make sure that your heel is right parallel to your knee.
exactly. 90 degrees.
Yeah.
If you go too close, just move it a little bit. You're gonna put a lot of pressure on your quads. You're gonna probably end up feeling your quads more. Perfect. Yep, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, comment below or email us. Thank you.